all of you, can you just clap your hands to show me that you understand how to use the emojis? Yes, I see clap hands, not from everybody yet. I see the Robot 407 doesn't clap his hands, but do you know how to use it? Ah, you know, Ron knows how to use it. Welcome, Ron. Very good.
Hello.
Because this is, hi, this is what we like, you know, to have some interaction with the public and that people just show that they are interactive with the speaker. I will introduce him in a minute, but it's people just show time for questions and answers at the end of the presentation, but you can, you know, react to his words in emoji language. That is very nice. So I'm Dana-Maria Faneker, and I've been working with VR since 2015 as a coach. And my mission is to help people to become the captains of their lives, and virtual reality is the most powerful tool to help me with my mission. And I'm so proud to be part of this platform or organization called Educators in VR, in which that Laurel van Vossen and Daniel Dibowski-Bryant are the founders, and Laurel is here as well, so give her a big hand because she makes this together with Daniel all possible. Thank you so much. And I'm the team leader of the track of the vCoaching and personal development. And the mission of that is to build a network of people around the world who are interested in coaching and personal development, and provide them an interactive space where they can communicate, share knowledge, support, connect, and inspire each other, and maybe even join forces. And so we can create a better real world for everyone. So this is the mission of this track, and that's why I invited Todd to speak today. And Todd Lewis is from Grand Rapids, Michigan in the United States. He has been educating small business owners and artists all over the world for the past 20 years in the areas of goal setting, time management, motivation, and positive thinking. As well, he is being an award-winning filmmaker, playwright, and music composer and actor. Todd also has been very active in the areas of diversity and inclusion, training over the last 2 decades, and creating programs geared towards educating corporations and organizations through the use of theatrical and traditional teaching. So please give a big welcome to Todd Lewis.
Hello.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dana. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for the warm welcome. I appreciate you all taking the time to be here today. Can you all hear me okay? If so, give me some hearts. Let me see some hearts if you can hear me okay. Beautiful. Fantastic. All right. Well, to start off, I just want to thank all of you for taking time out of your day to be here today. It really is an honor to get to present a subject that I'm very passionate about myself, something that I think can truly help anybody, regardless of what your line of work is, what types of relationships you have in your lives. I'm very passionate about this subject, and I appreciate that you took the time to be here today. And I promise you, I have done a lot of work to try to make sure that this does not waste your time, that the time that you invest here today is going to be hopefully very valuable to you. So I'm going to do my best to deliver that for you, because as you can see up on the screen there, success is not an accident. Today is all about taking charge of your life, driving your life toward what you want it to be. Because every day of our lives, we are getting results from the things that we do. They just might not always be the results we would like them to have, like them to be. And the fact that each one of you are here today means that you probably know that there's some area of your life that you would like to improve upon, that you'd like to take more charge of, that you'd like to feel more proactive in each and every day of your lives. And that's what today is completely devoted to. So, I do want to encourage you to interact with me as we go as well. I will have specific spots to ask some questions potentially as we go. I may not be able to answer every question as we go because of the time frame that we're on, but at the end, I will stick around as long as I'm allowed or as long as people would like to have me to answer any follow-up questions you might have. So I do want to answer every question that we have. But before we get started, we do have to, and I do want to ask real quick to make sure you can see the slides behind me. So if you can, please show me some hearts. If you can see the slide that says belief, that's up there right now. Give me some hearts. Okay, most of you, some of you are not giving me hearts. Hopefully that you still can see them. Okay, good. I'm seeing hearts from almost everybody. I think that's a good sign. So we will progress from there. The first thing that we have to talk about is the power of belief. And when I talk about belief, I'm not just talking about spiritual belief, which is also obviously a very important belief structure, but also just the belief of what we see around us, the belief of what we think is fact, fiction, true, false in life. Because whether you believe you can or believe that you can't, you're right. And that's one of my favorite phrases, because whether you believe you can do something or believe you can't, that's what's going to be more of a determining factor than almost anything else in your life of your success or failure in that area. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be learning that has to be done and steps that need to be taken in order to achieve that, but it starts with belief, because if you don't believe that it's possible, then it probably isn't. Is everything good, Dana? Everything good? Yeah, cool. Okay. What are some of the limiting beliefs? Excellent. I'm seeing sad faces. Why am I seeing sad faces?
Sorry, yeah, it's not me. It's someone else in the public.
Oh, there's you. Yeah. Okay, I got you. It sorry. Just looked so much like
no
you.
Problem.
Your doppelganger.
No, it doesn't matter. Okay. I just...
No worries, no worries. So how we communicate with ourselves on a moment-to-moment basis determines our success. Our communication structure is so important. And every single day we are communicating with ourselves. Right now, I'm having a communication with myself in my mind thinking, is this going well so far? Are people enjoying this? Am I giving people good content today? That's all communication I'm having constantly. And thank you for the affirmations there. I appreciate that. But we have to control that communication that's going on in our mind. Don't underestimate the power of the words that you use when you're communicating with yourself. We're doing this every day of our lives. For example, I want to give you some examples of some very negative and limiting phrases that you've probably caught yourself using on a moment-to-moment basis sometimes. Things like, I can't. Oh, I would love to do that, but I can't do that. That's a very limiting belief. The truth of the matter is you probably can. You just have programmed yourself to think that you cannot, for whatever reason, do that. Or that's just the way I am. Oh, right. I've heard people say that so many times. Oh, that's just the way I am. I can't fix that. I can't change it. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Yep, I'm seeing some. Yes, absolutely. I'm just an unlucky person. Or if I had what that person has, I'd be successful too, right? If I had the money, if I had the education, if I had the opportunities that that person had, I could be successful too. Or I'm too old. I catch myself saying that sometimes, and then I correct myself. Or I'm too young, right? Sometimes I'm too young to do that. Or the most damaging one of all, I think, I'm so stupid. Or that was so stupid. Why did I do that? I was so stupid. That is such a powerfully limiting belief. And so if you ever find yourself saying these phrases or phrases like those to yourself, ask yourself in that moment, do I really know this for a fact? Or do I really firmly believe this? And if not, what could I say that could be more proactive and more positive for me? Because your belief in the chance of success and your belief that anything is possible will make all the difference for you on a day-to-day basis. I wanted to show you some quotes here from people that I have found very motivational over the years, because I think it's important to keep these things in mind. One of my favorite people that I studied years and years ago, he's passed away. He passed away a while back, but Zig Ziglar, incredibly motivational speaker, and he said, every choice you make has an end result. Every choice you make. I love that. Ken Blanchard, who wrote The 1 Minute Manager, great book, by the way. If you haven't had a chance to read it, I strongly recommend it. Ken Blanchard said, people who produce good results feel good about themselves. Anthony Robbins, who is probably my single favorite author that I've read and person that I've studied with over the years. He's not for everybody. He's not everyone's cup of tea. I happen to really respond to him. But he said, quote, there is no such thing as failure. There are only results. Now, that's a really important distinction. Again, talking about belief and the importance of our belief structure is how we look at failure is just as important as how we look at success. And if you look at failure as, oh, I suck, I failed, I dropped the ball, I'm so stupid, right? But instead, if you look at it as, I didn't fail, I just found one way that doesn't work, and that's getting me one more step toward finding the one that will. So never think that you are not getting results. You are getting results all the time. They just might not be the results you would like to be getting. Okay. So now let's talk about becoming what I like to call a time thief. And this is a good thing, okay? How to get stuff done quickly, how to get more done in 4 hours than you feel like you would typically get done in 8 hours. Let's see with some claps, who would like to know how to do that? Get more done in 4 hours than they get done in 8, right? Yep, I see a whole lot of claps. And that's what this is going to help you with. So very quickly, here's some facts about your time. It's really important to remember that we all have the same amount of time in a day. I love it when people say, well, I just don't have time to do that. I'm like, really? You don't? Because you got the same amount of time today as I do. I mean, some of us live longer than others, of course, but I'm talking on a day-to-day basis. Nobody gets more than 24 hours in a day, and nobody gets less. Doesn't matter how rich you are, no matter where you live, no matter what your upbringing is, your education, we all get 24 hours. And if you don't control those 24 hours, it's going to take control of you, right? You chose to be here today. You made a choice. You took control of your time. You very easily could have let time take control of you and just decided, I'm just going to sit down and watch something on Netflix, or I'm just going to eat, or I'm just going to do the dishes. That's a little bit more of time taking control of you, but you chose to be here today. Right-brained creative people tend to have more trouble managing their time than left-brain logical people do. Now, I know this because I'm I consider myself a little bit more right-brained, a little bit more of the creative side. And I've had to work really hard to find the ways that work for me for managing my time. And the stuff I'm going to do today is the stuff that's proven to do that. And then the only proven way to take control of your time is to actually take control of it. Nobody else can do it for you. Only you can take control of your time. That's the one thing I can't do for you here today, is make sure that when you leave here that you utilize what you got here today. But this isn't rocket science, okay? A lot of people want to make this a lot tougher, a lot more complicated than it is, but keep it simple, keep it fast, and keep it going, all right? So the habits of some successful time managers. Now, I know there's a lot of words on the screen there. You don't have to read all of those. I'm going to be talking about each one of these things, but I wanted to put these up on the screen so you could see them and they'd sink in. Number one, great habit of a successful time manager, someone that's getting the most out of their day, is when you're in doubt of what you should be doing in any given moment, ask yourself, what's the best use of my time right now? What is the best use of my time? And most of the time, you're not going to come to the conclusion that the best use of your time is to veg out in front of the TV or to, do these things that aren't going to help you get where you want to go in life. Most of the time, you're going to go, well, the best use of my time would probably be to do this thing over here. Number two is to eliminate or minimize any interruptions or distractions. Make sure that you have a private workspace. Even if you're in your home, no matter where you're working, quote unquote, make sure you have a private space that you can make sure that you're not getting interrupted by people. And which brings us to that last point, which is shut off email and social media. Now, I love email. I love social media. I love the power that both of those things have to connect us. Large part of why some of you are here today is probably as a result of some social media or email, and that's a great thing to connect us all together. But it can also, let's admit, with a show of claps, who here feels that they have probably spent a lot more time on social media than they probably should at some point in their lives? Show of claps, yeah, right? We've all done that. We've gotten sucked into that social media rabbit hole. And before you know it, you think you've been in there 15 minutes, but you've actually been in there for 2 hours, right? So we have to be very conscious to choose times in our day when we will allow ourselves to be on social media and checking emails, and times when we say, okay, I'm shutting it off right now. I'm not going to be on social media. I'm not going to be on email. I will do that later today. And that will allow you right there to get so much more done than you ever thought. But it's up to you, again, to be very vigilant with that. Go somewhere else to do your work. Change your scenery. Again, make sure that it's a place where you won't have any interruptions. But for me, I love some of the work that I can do from just about anywhere. When it's critical thinking stuff or stuff like that, I can just take a tablet or my laptop computer, a piece of paper, and I can go out to a park somewhere and sit at a park bench and do some work there. And being in that different environment can help you now to be more creative, to think more clearly, and just make sure that you're away from all interruptions. Read your goals aloud each and every day. This can keep you focused and motivated. We're going to talk more about goals in a little bit, so I'm not going to get into the specifics of that right now. But reading your goals out loud can be such a powerful thing. And we will get to some questions in a second. I see a hand up there. I will get to your question for sure. So hold that question there. We'll get to that. Don't forget about doing fun things as well. Sometimes the fun things have to be scheduled in. Okay, I'm very guilty of that. I will get so busy doing stuff that I realize I forgot to schedule in the things that I actually enjoy doing that are separate from my work. And then before you know it, weeks and months have gone by and I haven't done these things. I'm a bike rider. I love riding my bike during the spring, summer, and fall here in Michigan in the United States when it's nice out. And if I don't schedule those things in, I'll realize I'll go months without riding my bike, and I just don't feel good about that. And then make sure, last but not least, to reward yourself. Give yourself little rewards when you accomplish something that you wanted to get accomplished, something that you feel good, that you wanted to get done. Give yourself little rewards. They don't have to be massive things like, taking yourself on a vacation or buying a new car. They can just be little things that give you a sense of reward in addition to the reward of accomplishing the goal itself. Okay? So first of all, with a show of either claps or hearts, how are you feeling about this? Is this helping so far? I know I'm going kind of fast. Is this helpful? Oh, excellent. Oh, good. I know I tend to talk pretty fast, but it's because I have so much stuff I want to give you in the time that we have allotted. So hopefully I'm not moving too quickly. All right, this one section here, if I could impart one thing on all of you today, this would be the one thing above everything else. And that's the power of PTS time. So if you take one thing away from today, I hope that this is the one thing, okay? PTS time stands for planning, thinking, and study time. And this is something that I recommend you do each and every morning. First thing in the morning when you wake up. Okay, obviously you can go use the restroom, brush your teeth, grab a cup of coffee or whatever it is, that's fine. But before you do anything else in the day, you sit down and you do PTS time. And you devote 20 minutes for each section. 20 minutes for planning, 20 minutes for thinking, and 20 minutes for studying. Okay, so it's a total of about 40 minutes, okay? I think I did the math right. No, 60 minutes. Sorry, math is hard. That would be a total of 60 minutes. And if you can't rationalize doing full 60 minutes each day, then do it for 15 minutes for each section. Do it for 45 minutes total, okay? And you do this first hour of the day. And the reason that you do this, and I'm going to talk about each of the sections in just a second. The reason you do this first thing in the day is they have done a lot of psychological studies that show that how you start your day has more of an effect on how your day goes than almost anything else that will happen that day. We've all had those days, right, where you wake up in the morning and you wake up, the alarm goes off, you hit the alarm, and you just go, you know what? I don't feel like getting out of bed today. Why even bother? I don't feel energized. I don't feel motivated. I might as well just stay in bed, right? We've all had those kind of days. But conversely, we've also had those days occasionally where you wake up and you go, you know what? Today's a good day. I feel good. I got a lot done yesterday. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling energized. And you get out of bed with a sense of urgency and a sense of excitement. And I'm willing to bet that those days that you had that feeling of excitement, you got more accomplished those days and you felt better throughout the day than you did those days where you woke up and didn't feel energized. PTS time is designed to program your mind in a way to have those positive days every day. No matter how you wake up in the morning, doing PTS time will make you feel more energized and more motivated. Okay. So for example, the planning time is where you plan out your day. You're just going to sit down and you're going to kind of plan out your day, what you're looking to get accomplished today, what times you're going to be doing those and stuff like that, so it keeps you focused. The T, the thinking time, is where you think a little bit about your goals. We are not encouraged, at least not in the United States. Other countries, hopefully it's a little bit different, but in the United States, we are not taught to think. That's not our strong suit. We are taught to memorize things and stuff like that, but we're not taught really to just sit down and think about our goals, think about where we want to go, think about our careers, things like that. So if you give yourself some time each day to do that, it's also going to help keep you focused in the right direction. And then the study time is where I like to read something that motivates and energizes me. That's the last step that I usually do. And I just pull out a book. For me, my favorite book to read, if you want one, if you don't have one of your own, is called Awaken the Giant Within by Tony Robbins. It's my go-to book. If I don't have something else to read at any moment, I will pull that book off my shelf. I've read it cover to cover 5 or 6 times, but I'll turn to any page of that book and I'll just start reading. And before you know it, I'm feeling energized and motivated. Okay? So PTS time every day. If you have more questions about that, stick around afterwards and I can answer them for you. I could do a full 2-hour program just on PTS time. So I want to open it up for just a moment, if we can, just a couple minutes. If there's any questions strictly on what we've talked about so far, PTS time, the power of belief, our communication with ourselves. So if anyone has a question, please use your emojis to raise your hand. I saw somebody that raised their hand at one point, but maybe I already answered your question. So go ahead and click to raise your hand if you.
So they have
yes.
to hit no emojis. They need to click the raise hand button in the lower right corner.
Oh, there we go. Okay, do what she said. That makes more sense. Click the little raise hand button there, and I'm going to see if any come up. If not, no worries. We'll continue on, and I can answer questions later. All right. I'm not seeing any questions, which means either I've bored you and you've tuned out.
We have 2 questions in the queue, Dana-Maria.
Yeah, sorry,
Fantastic.
I was muted.
Perfect.
I have 2 questions. Cuddly womb. I say it always wrong. Can you, sorry, can you pronounce your name again, please?
Cuddly Womple.
Oh yeah, sorry. Good.
All right, welcome.
Can you hear me? Yeah, hello.
Yes.
Hello, people. I dropped in a wee bit late, so maybe you covered it, I'm not sure. But I was just wondering, how about exercise? I had just planned before turning on my phone in the morning, first I do my exercise. Where would you put that? Before or after your PTS?
Fantastic. Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. That is a great question. Exercise is so important. And we're going to talk a little bit more about exercise in just a little bit. But I want to answer that question because it ties into PTS time. I would do my exercise after my PTS time. Now, that's me. Now, I think you can do it before. There are arguments both ways. If you do it before, it can get your blood flowing, which gets blood flowing to your brain, which helps you to think a little clearer. And then going into your PTS time can be very powerful. The reason I like to do PTS time first is I find I actually exercise harder if I've done my PTS time first because I'm already feeling more energized and excited. Okay, so either one will work as long as you do one right after the other. You do both of those first thing in the morning.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did we have another question, Dana?
Yes. Laurel, can you ask a question, please?
Yes. So let's make sure I'm on megaphone. You've mentioned many of the things that get in people's way, the email and things like that. What else really gets in people's way that stops them from moving forward?
Fantastic question as well. There are a lot of things, right? When we think about it, when we really start paying attention to how our day goes, we realize the things that can become interruptions or distractions. Sometimes those interruptions, and I don't mean this in a negative way, calling it an interruption, but sometimes family members, children, spouses, things like that, those can be interruptions in that they're interrupting the flow of what you've been working on at any given moment. They're very important, so I don't want to diminish that at all. But
you just went off megaphone, so we can't hear you.
Uh-oh. don't think I changed anything. Let me double check.
No, there's a little bug. It sometimes does that once in a while.
Oh, there we go. Can you hear me now? Yes?
Yep.
All right, there we go.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you. So people can sometimes be interruptions for sure. But the biggest single interruption that I see above everything else is procrastination. That's the biggest one, ourselves. Coming up with any other reason to do something other than what we know we should be doing at any given moment. And that's something that you only have control over. So social media, emails, people in our lives, and our own procrastination, I think, are the biggest interruptions and distractions from getting stuff done. And we have to take control of that. When it comes to people, we have to just be really clear with our family members and so forth that, hey, I need about an hour here. I'll play with you in a little bit for sure. We're going to spend some quality time together, but I need about an hour of being uninterrupted to work on this thing, and then we will spend some quality time together. And educating your family toward that can really help as well. Did that answer your question okay, Ro?
Yeah, that was brilliant because it seems to be people, but it's also shiny, bright objects too.
Shiny, bright objects, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's right. And there's so many of them. Our cell phones, our laptops, our televisions, everything. There's so much to distract us. Okay, so let's talk. We'll get to other questions in just a little bit, but I want to keep moving along here. What causes us to not feel motivated or energized in any given moment? I'm going to just list these very quickly because I'm sure you can all relate to these. Getting discouraged or failures, quote unquote. Too long doing the same things over and over again. That's one thing that gets me. I get bored very easily. Negativity from other people around us. Not having end goals in mind while we're working. Putting out what I call fires, when something has gotten so urgent that it has to be taken care of right now, whereas if we had done it a couple days ago, it wouldn't have become so urgent. Creative blocks, physical age limitations, and our internal dialogue are all things that can cause us to not feel motivated or energized. And if you look at those lists, most, if not all, pretty much most of those things can be managed by ourselves. The only one that really I see is difficult is negativity from other people around us. Okay, we don't have control over what other people do and say, but what we do have control over is how we respond, both to ourselves and to others, of what they say. So these things are all things we have immense control over. But there are also physical aspects, right, of not feeling motivated and energized, not getting enough sleep. Make sure that you're working out your mind and your body every day. We talked about exercise, right? The importance of doing exercise. You want to make sure you're doing at least 20 minutes each day for your mind and 20 minutes each day for your body to keep them exercised. Very important. Don't just sit too much throughout the day. Make sure that you stand up and take stretch breaks, walk around a little bit, do things. You can still do some of your work maybe even while you're doing that, but get up and move around. That's a tough one for me because I spend a lot of time in front of a computer. So I have to take little breaks every so often to get up and walk around and do things. Get out of your office or workspace periodically. We talked about that already. And last but not least is to smile. Something physiologically happens when we smile. Like, okay, you might be able to, I'm going to do this little experiment right now. Okay, so I'm talking to you right now. Okay, I'm just talking to you and we're having a great time. But now I want to see if you can tell when I actually change and I smile while I'm talking. So I'm talking to you, and now I'm talking to you some more. Did you notice a change about halfway through there in the tone of my voice? It was probably very subtle. But I started smiling about halfway through that. And it changes our physiology and it changes the way we feel about ourselves. So even when you're by yourself, if you find yourself feeling a little down, force yourself a little bit to smile and feel good. I'm all right. I got this, right? And it can change everything for you, okay? I want to go over quickly 10 mental keys to staying motivated, okay? These are 10 quick ways to stay motivated as you're going forward. First of all, positive affirmations. We already talked about how important it is to communicate with yourself properly. Whenever you're feeling a little bit down, say, hey, you know what? I'm okay. Other people have struggled with this. And if they achieved it, I can do it. I'll get through this. Okay? So those positive affirmations. Now, this second one is one of my favorites. Look back at successes. Keep a success journal, if you will. Remember why you love what you do. So one of my favorite things to do as an exercise is every so often, maybe once every 6 months to a year, I will sit down and I will just write down on a piece of paper everything that I am proud of that I've accomplished, no matter how big or how small. Anything I'm proud of that I've accomplished recently. Okay, and then I can pull that out whenever I'm feeling a little down on myself or feeling like I'm not getting enough done, and I'll read that list to myself, and it immediately makes me feel better. And again, I'm talking little things too, but those little things add up to be big in our lives. Do something fast and scratch it off your list. If you got a things to do list, do one of the things on there that's not going to take very long to accomplish. And then scratch it off the list. Something really interesting happens when you scratch something off your things to do list. It feels really good, doesn't it? And then start off your day with PTS time, as we talked about. Here are a couple more. Start with something that you want to do the most. This is one of my favorite things to do. If I've got a list of things to do today and I'm not feeling as motivated as I would like to be, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on doing one of the things I'm most excited and interested in doing first. Okay, because then that gets you excited and you're like, oh, I'm enjoying doing this. I'm enjoying working on this. And then that makes you want to continue that feeling of getting things accomplished as you do the things on your list that are less exciting to you personally. Keep your end goals in mind. We already talked a little bit about that. We're going to talk about goal setting in just a second. Stick to your pre-planned things to do list and don't deviate from it. When you do your planning time during your PTS time in the morning, make sure you stick to that list. Don't just decide, well, I don't feel like doing that now, so I'm going to do something else instead. Stick to that list. Plan out your rewards and seek out advice and motivational encouragement from others. Educators in VR is a great location for some of that, a great place for you to go. If you're not feeling motivated or energized, I'm willing to bet there are plenty of people in Educators VR who would love to hear from you. Go on the Facebook page, communicate on the Discord, whatever it is. We're here to help you. I'm somebody that's willing to help you, okay? And there might be family members and friends you can go to that'll give you some motivation and encouragement, okay? All right, just because of time, I'm gonna skip past this questions moment here because I'm gonna have another one coming up and we'll answer some questions from you at that point if that's okay, because I'm just watching the time. How's everybody doing? Give me an emoji letting me know, how are you feeling? Is this going okay for you? Am I boring you? Am I going too fast? Oh, good, excellent. Everyone's still awake. That's already a good sign right there. And I see a question over there. We will get to your question for sure, so hang on to that. I will get to that in a moment. But I want to talk about goals for a second first. Because the definition of a goal is the object of a person's ambition or effort, an aimed desire or result, okay? So it's important that we have set goals in our lives. One of the major reasons people don't get enough accomplished in their lives is because they don't know what they want to get accomplished. They haven't clearly set out goals for themselves. No matter what area, I'm not just talking career. I'm not just talking work. I'm talking relationships. I'm talking your life, your recreation, the things you love to do. We should have goals in all of those areas because I like to think of it as if you don't have goals, you're like you're on a ship and you have no rudder. You're just going to go wherever the wind and the waves take you. And maybe you'll end up somewhere interesting. Maybe you'll end up in the middle of the ocean where there's nothing else around you. But once we have goals, we take charge of that rudder and we can sail right toward the island that we want to head toward. Now, does it always guarantee you're going to get great results? No. But with those goals, it guarantees that you're going to be aiming in the right direction. These are the names of some people who just have overcome great obstacles in their lives to have incredible successes in their own areas, largely because they set specific goals for themselves. Okay, so I've read autobiographies by all of these people, or biographies or autobiographies and information about all of these people. They motivate and energize me. Use people like that to continue to energize you. I want to mention this very quickly because this illustrates my point about goal setting. In 1979, Harvard Business School interviewed their graduates from their Harvard's MBA program. They interviewed them as they were leaving class and had graduated, and they asked them some questions. And here, what they found out was fascinating. What they asked was, of all the graduating students from that class, how many of you have written down or have goals of what you want to achieve once you leave school? How many of you have goals in your mind? Now, of those people, only 13% of them had any goals, specific goals of where they wanted to go in their lives. The rest of them did not. Now they asked them one more question. They said, okay, now of those that have goals, how many of you have those goals written down on paper? And only 3% of the total class said that they had written down goals. Now, 10 years later, in 1989, they re-interviewed all of these students. And here's what they found out. That the 13% of the people who had goals in their mind, but the 10% of them that did not have them written down, that 10% of the people, they were making, on average, twice as much money per year as the rest of the people in the class that did not have goals. They were making double the income. Now, money is not the sign of success, okay? But the thing I like about money is that it's tangible. It's something you can ask about and you can find out results, okay? That does not necessarily mean you're successful, but it is a way of gauging it. Now, here's the really fascinating thing. The 3% of the people who had written down goals were making more per person on average than the other 97% of the class combined. That's a huge difference, right? The 3%, each one of them were making more than the entire rest of the class combined. Now, what that says to me is having written down goals that you look at every day, that is programming your brain like a computer to help you be more likely to achieve those goals than if you didn't have them written down, okay? How are we doing on time? Are we okay? Am I doing all right, Dana? Yeah? Okay, good. I'm going to try and go a little faster here because I don't want to go too terribly long here. But when we talk about goals, you'd be surprised at how few people actually have written down goals, okay? And you want to write these down in 3 different areas as you're thinking about your goals. Short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. And it's really important to think of goals in all of those areas, okay? And what I mean by short-term goals to me are any goals that you want to achieve between now and 6 months from now. That's a short-term goal. A medium-term goal is any goal that you would like to have achieved between 6 months from now and 2 years from now. And then a long-term goal is any goal that you would like to achieve 2 years from now or longer. 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, okay? So make sure when you sit down and you start thinking about your goals, you write them down in those areas. And when you're setting goals, here are some key points for that. Make sure that you're very specific when you write them down. Don't just say, I want to make more money next year. That if you make 1 penny more, then you achieved your goal, right? No, you want to say, I would like to make, $20,000 more income next year than I made this year. That's being specific. You want to set aside 4 to 6 hours someday in the next week or two to dedicate solely to sitting down and thinking about your goals. Okay, that will be a very powerful 4 to 6 hours for you, I promise you. Think in terms of short, long, medium, and long-term goals. And you want to think in terms of professional, personal, spiritual, social, recreational goals, all these different areas of your life, because you don't want any of those areas to fall to the wayside. Be sure to give yourself specific deadlines and include the benefits that you will gain from completing these goals. What is going to make your life better when you've achieved these goals? And then just do it. Get started doing these things now. Okay, so set your long-term goals first, then work on the medium-term goals, then the short-term goals. The reasons you want to start with your long-term goals, the ones that are furthest away, are because that's going to help determine what's most important to you in your life, and that's going to impact everything else. Okay, so let's take a couple of quick questions here. If you have a question, go ahead and hit the raise hand button there, and Dana can let me know if we have any questions so far. We will take a few more questions at the end as well. Any questions so far? I'm not hearing you, Dana, if you're talking.
Yeah, yes, one question, sorry.
Great.
So there was Matt the scientist, yeah.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I am.
Hi, Matt.
I'm trying to start a business, but also I'm trying to evolve myself. But I never do something for my business. I'm always stick to evolving myself.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So a way around. Oh, sure. Yeah. A way around that is the goal setting is going to be very helpful for that, because as you set goals in both of those areas and you're reading those goals aloud every day, it's going to help you to be able to stay focused in multiple areas instead of focusing primarily on this one, but this one gets off to the wayside. Because as we're looking at those goals every day, we're being reminded, oh, okay, I'm not taking steps forward in that area, and I really, really want to. So maybe today I should put a little bit more focus in that area. So I think that coupled with doing your PTS time, your planning, thinking, and study time every day, is going to help you to focus more broadly on those multiple different areas. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you.
Fantastic. Okay, you bet.
Thank you. And then Vagabondi.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, so when it comes to goal setting, when we set a goal, we should set a goal for a habit or the quality which is required for the end result we are seeking, or we should set a goal as end result itself. To give an example, if I want to do something in my life, let's say I want to do my super specialization, but like I'll have to study for like 10 hours a day to achieve that in particular period of time. So when I set a goal, should I set a goal as I need to study, I want to develop a habit of studying for 10 hours a day, or I shall set a goal as I want to pursue this course in this period of time?
Great question. And that the correct answer, in my opinion, to that is you're going to kind of do both. And the way you're going to do both is your long-term goal is going to be that ultimate desire that you have once you've achieved, that area of study. So that's your long-term goal. 3 years from now, I want to have achieved this area of study to this degree. But then you're going to put down medium and short-term goals that are getting you toward that long-term goal. And one of those, for example, short-term goals might be, over the next 3 days, I want to have studied 6 hours a day over each of those days in that specific area to help me get toward that goal, right? So that way your short and your medium-term goals are helping you to reach those long-term goals as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. All right, if we can, we'll take any other questions here in just a moment. I'm going to move forward here just a bit. I've just got one more thing to mention here, and then we're going to open up the floor to any final questions. Thank you so much again for sticking around and for being so attentive. I really appreciate it, and I know I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you very quickly, but one thing to talk about right now, thank you so much. Thank you very much, is how to overcome unexpected roadblocks and challenges. We're living in a very unique time right now, worldwide. We're all dealing with an incredible challenge as a globe, as a human species, right? And it's changing the way that we would normally do things, and it's forcing us to adapt. And one of the best skills that we can have in our lives is to be able to adapt, to overcome new challenges and roadblocks when they come up, and not just curl up in the fetal position and try to ride it out. And that's tough. This is a really challenging time. But everything will not always go as planned. But remember, it's not what happens to us in life that matters. It's how we respond to it that matters. Everything that happens to us, we do have a choice. Am I going to respond in a completely negative way that's going to shut down my ability to adapt to what's happening? Or am I going to respond in a way of looking at it as, okay, I've got to change a few things right now. I'm going to do my best to figure out the best way to do this, and I'm going to move forward in a positive way. That's easier said than done sometimes, and some days you're going to feel better than others. But here are some ways to defeat the blocks before they defeat you. Number one, get out of your head and into your heart. One of my favorite things to teach people is to stop overthinking everything, which is very easy for me to do. I'm a thinker as well. I'm always in my head. But when I force myself to get out of my head and think, instead of what I'm thinking right now, what am I feeling right now? Or instead of trying to help this person by finding out what they're thinking, what might they be feeling? And that can immediately start to open up other options to you to think about. That's what led to me being here today, partially, is because in this socially distancing time, we're looking for ways to teach the things that we love to teach in person. And I love teaching this in person, but I can't. And so in talking with Dana and the other folks at Educators in VR, it became very clear that this was a venue to possibly do this. And I'm very grateful for that. Force yourself to look at things from a different angle. Think like a child. Now, this really helped me when I discovered this. I wish I remembered who I learned this from, but it's so powerful. Think like a child. When you have this stumbling block you can't seem to get past, think about, well, what might a child think about this? Or what might it look like if I stood on my head and I looked at it upside down? You know, just thinking of things that way, turn it upside down and look at it from a different angle. Maybe put on some inspiring music. That always helps me. Music always drives me. So if I'm feeling like I'm not sure how to deal with this challenge, I'll pop on Eye of the Tiger from Rocky, you know, and, and it just gets me energized, right? It helps. Reread books that have motivated you or energized you in the past. That can help as well. And don't use the negative internal dialogue like we talked about. And remember to go back to basics and work from there. Sometimes the best thing you can do is go, am I overthinking this roadblock? What are some of the basics I know? That's, again, kind of what led me here. The basics of what I know is talking in front of people about these subjects. Well, I can't do that in person, but at the basics, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm talking to you in person. It's just my avatar and your avatar instead of us as people. And that helps to think in the basics. And then be okay with failing. Be okay with not succeeding with the first try. Don't look at it as a failure. Look at it as one more step toward being a success. Okay, so with that, that's the last thing I had for today. I want to open it up to questions, and then if there's time, I have a kind of what to do next, which I do want to kind of end with after we answer a few more questions here. So Dana, do we have any more questions from folks at the moment?
I just put the raise hand button up, so if anybody wants to have a question, please raise your hand. You see it on the left side down at the bottom. You can push it.
Yeah, little raise hand button. There we go. Yep, okay.
Yeah, I don't see any questions yet. Ah, yeah, now is one coming. I will see who's that. Vagabondi, please go on. Oh, sorry, the wrong one. Cuddy Worm. Cuddy Worm. Sorry.
Learn the word, Dana. Cuddy Worm.
Yeah.
It's such a beautiful
Cuddy Worm.
word. Hello, I'm Desiree.
Hi, Desiree.
Hi. I thought I'd just kick off the questions. I have about a ton of notebooks, some online apps, and a whiteboard, and some other boards where I started writing goals and projects, and oh my God, I am so lost. I'm still smiling.
Sure.
I'm not really lost, but I'm so curious about what do you use?
Oh, great
Because
question.
I'm ready to pick now.
Oh, absolutely. Okay, so that is a question I can feel in my heart because I went through the same thing. I am a relatively, as a general rule, I tend to be challenged at being organized. Okay, that's not my strongest suit naturally, so I've had to work at being more organized. And the thing that helped me the most is discovering that if I have things on my computer, I'm much more organized than if they're on paper. I lose papers all the time. But when it's on a computer, I can keep my structure, my folders and everything pretty well organized, and I can find something pretty quickly. So what I use, it's pretty simple. I use Google Docs, Google Documents, because A, it's accessible everywhere. B, I don't think Google is going anywhere anytime soon, so I trust that it's going to be around for a while. And I can access it from all my devices, my phone, my laptop, my regular computer. And that way I know everything is in one spot. So I use Google Docs primarily for like goals and stuff like that. I use Google Calendar for my calendar, including scheduling out my day by hour. I use Google Calendar for that for the same reason. And then for my things to do list, I use a program called Remember the Milk. It's very catchy. It's free. It's online. It's cross-platform, but it's called Remember the Milk. And I use that for my growing list of things to do that I go and I check things off of as I'm going. So those are the three things and the only three things I use. I haven't used paper in probably about 4 years for that very reason. Okay, does that help?
Thank you very
yes.
much.
All right.
Yes.
Fantastic. You bet. All right. Any other questions? I think I see a hand up back there.
Vagabondi, yes, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. So earlier you were talking about planning, thinking, and studying technique to do first thing in the morning. I do something which is similar to that. I do spend my whole day on paper just before sleeping, like half an hour before I go to bed. And I wanted to know if there are some added benefits to your technique so I can make a shift, and how your technique differs from planning your day before going to bed? Thank you.
All right. I'm raising my hands to you on that one. That is a fantastic question. I'm so glad you asked that because I wondered the same thing. And the benefit that you all have with me being here more than me standing on this stage is that I've used myself as a test subject for all of the stuff I'm teaching today. And I've been keeping very close track of the results. And for the longest time, I considered myself to be a night person more than a morning person. I feel more energized at night. I felt like I got more stuff done at night. So I tried doing PTS time in the evening before instead of in the morning. And here's what I found. And then I did some research and I found out why I felt this way. Is I found that I wasn't as motivated the next day. At night, when I did my planning and my thinking and my study time then, I felt really motivated and energized, but then I went to sleep. And then when I woke up in the morning, I was kind of back to square one. And so I started researching it. What I found is that by starting your day off with that positivity and that planning, you're kind of reprogramming your brain from whatever has happened while you were sleeping, whether it's the dreams you had, the nightmares you had, whatever else was going through your brain. Whereas doing it the night before, you feel really great and really energized and focused to go to sleep. And it's not quite as powerful. So I tested the same thing, and what I would recommend is give it 7 days. Try for 7 days doing it in the morning instead of the evening, and just track it and see how you feel after that week if you feel like you're getting more done.
Yeah. Thank you.
Cool. You're welcome. All right.
Yes, and
Dana.
we have another question. Yes.
Yes.
Bluebirds. Bluebirds?
Where are you, bluebirds? The strong silent type.
Yeah, I thought I unmuted that person. You can unmute yourself. I unmuted you, so can you please unmute yourself so you can ask the question? Or else give me a message, please, that something's wrong with your mic. Then I can ask the question for you.
There we go. Okay.
No sign yet.
No sign yet. Okay. Well, we can come back and try again in a minute here. Are there any other questions at the moment?
Not from the audience.
Okay.
I have one question for you, if that's possible. Or do you gonna go on? It's just
go
that
ahead.
I was really interested because I introduced you as the award-winning film maker, and I was just wondering, what was the film about?
Oh, great. Thank you. Great question. It actually was a short film that won a couple of awards at some film festivals throughout the United States here. And the subject matter of it was I wanted to I wanted to make a short 35-minute film that was a silent film, that was told completely through the visuals, just like the old, movies from the 20s and early 30s. But I wanted to do it in a way that there was a reason why the film was silent. And so it was a film that was told completely from the point of view of a young child who is deaf. And it's a film called Low End. And so thank you for asking that. It's very nice, and enjoyed making that film very much. All right. Thank you for the emojis. That was very nice. We'll open it back up if we have time, and I'll leave that up to you, Dana, if we have time for some more questions in just a second. But I just want to quickly go over what's next. I always like to leave any class that I teach with what should you do next, so that you don't just leave here and everything goes back to the regular day-to-day and so forth. So the first thing is, don't let the momentum end here. Just attending today is not enough. However, attending today already puts you way above most people, okay, by you being here and taking the time. But now utilize what you've learned today, because you have the tools and the strategies you need now to start taking charge of every area of your life. And I want to see each and every one of you be able to do that. So I would encourage you to make a commitment for 21 days to implement what we talked about here today to whatever degree you can, because studies have shown that it takes about 21 days to form a new habit. that after doing something for about 21 days, it starts to become a habit, and you continue that habit for going forward. So PTS time, a great thing to form a habit with. And then please remember that I am around. Okay, if you want to get in contact with me, I'm on the Discord server. I may not be under my own name though, but maybe we can put something on the Discord server so you all know how to get hold of me. I'm also available by email, and maybe I can even help with Dana to get my email address out to you. If you want to stay in contact with me, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm not selling any product or anything like that. I just want to be here to be of help in any way that I can for people during this challenging time. So if you want to reach out to me, please feel free to do that. And we'll figure out a way to get you my email address after this program is done. Okay?
Yes, for sure. Yes. They can all go to the Discord channel also, to the vCoaching and personal development track. So this is the special track where we keep our information going. You can also maybe add your slides there, or put some extra information there after the show. And then people can connect with you there. That would be really nice.
Love it. Perfect.
Yeah,
okay.
You.
So Dana, I'll leave it up to you. If we have time for some more questions, I can stick around, for a good extra half hour or whatever we have, but I'll kind of turn it over to you.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, so thank you so much. Can you give a big hand to Todd Lewis for being here in such a great presentation. It was so much valuable, so much good tips and tricks you gave us. So I'm really inspired by you. So thank you so much, and everybody is, I see. So
thank you. Yeah.
What we do next is we would like to also make a selfie with everybody, and also we would like you to ask permission. We should have done this before, but we filmed the whole presentation also with your questions, and I would like your permission that we can use that for promotion of Todd Lewis and you to put it on YouTube, for example. Is that okay with you? Or if someone doesn't find that okay, please send me a message and I can cut only the questions I can cut out. So, but if everybody's okay with it, we can leave the questions in as well. And if everybody wants to come on stage, please to join us for a selfie. That would be really fun. So we can make a really beautiful selfie. Yes.
Yay, come on up.
Yes. Yeah.
We're a family.
And then try to come as close as possible to me, next to me, because I'm making the picture. And then I need everybody to get in. So let me see. Yes, I need more. Todd, I don't see you. Can you come closer?
Oh, do you have me now? Oh, I don't want to get in front of anybody.
Yeah, exactly. You go a little bit more front. Oh yeah, Desiree is in front of you right now. Desiree, come next to me. Todd, come a little bit. You need to get more to the front. Maybe on the other side. Yeah, that's better. And then the green guy, stop, Todd. The green guy behind Cuddy Wumple. Come please a little bit to the right. And the blue guy, Fox, you are really nice. If that's you, it's really nice that you're standing there. Please don't move. And the one behind Fox, come a little bit closer. You need to, yes, green guy, yes, very nice with the green, yes, come closer, yes. And the other one, you stop, green guy. Sorry, I don't know your name. With the red shirt, you have to come to the other side because there's no space anymore on this side. And then Fox, can you just move a little bit to the right or the left? I don't know what this, the blue guy in the back. Fox, I think it's you. A little bit more to the right or left. Yes, I'm gonna do what I'm doing. I have at least one picture, and then move a little bit. So we have other people also in the picture. Move a little bit to the back. Yeah, again. Try, I'm gonna make a pop and put some love out there. Some hearts. Make some hearts. Yeah, and I will also come to the back because I don't see a lot of people I don't see, so I will do like this. Yeah, stay hard. Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. I will send you the pictures if you want. Oh, I put them also in the Discord vCoaching and personal development track, so you can get your picture there. That I will. One more. Yes. Okay. If next time if you didn't get into the picture, then we can do it next time. I will try to do it every week so we can have everybody in the picture. So maybe if not now is working, then we can do it next time. So, but thank you all for coming. It was a pleasure to do this event. We do this once a month, a big event like that. So if anybody is interested to speak at one of our events and talk about coaching and personal development, please don't hesitate to send me a message. Also, this you can do best in Discord. And if you want the email address of Todd Lewis, you can ask him now also to befriend him. And also in Discord, he can bring his email address or give you his personal email address. You can also give now. So anybody wants to say something? Yeah, what you can do is... Yeah,
I just want to say real quick too, thank you everyone again for being so kind and generous, and it was my honor getting to be here. Loved getting to talk with all of you, so thank you so much.
Yeah, and you can go on talking with them. For example, maybe you can stick around here. I don't think there's another event, so you could stay here a little bit, and people can ask you some more questions.
Will do.
Okay, I have to go. Speak to you next time.
Thank you, Dana.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah, if anyone wants to stick around, feel free. Happy to answer any questions.
Sorry. I'm gonna mute people. Unmute. Now they can speak also. Sorry.
Oh, there we go.
Yes,
That'll be helpful.
You can speak.
Perfect. You bet.
Todd, sorry, I just wanted to ask you, I got here late, so I'm wondering, are you going to be having another presentation like this anytime soon?
I hope to, yeah. We haven't talked about doing another one yet, but I am totally open to doing another one of these. I love getting to talk with people about any of these subjects, so I would be honored to do another one.
Is this going to be on YouTube maybe they were talking about? 'Cause I'm really
Yes.
kind of missed all that good stuff.
Yes, it sounds like it will be on YouTube.
Yes, it's going to be on YouTube, and we definitely will invite Todd again with us this year. So
Great.
because
And
it was
ask
so
you, how do I
great.
find it on YouTube? What should I look under on YouTube?
Educators in VR. So the YouTube channel Educators in VR, and also we put it in the Discord channel. Okay, have a nice day, everybody.
Oh, okay.
Oh no, don't worry. I can stay a little bit. It doesn't matter. When it will be posted, that is, yeah, I think that depends on how quick the people who made the video send it to the team. I think this week, end of this week.
Oh,
but
great.
I'm not
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Don't blame me if they are too busy to do it.
Sure.
But I think it's not that difficult to put it up this week.
That's great.
Excellent.
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, welcome.
Cool. Any other questions I can answer for anybody? I will hang around a little bit. Feel free to just kind of